welcome to the resurrection in the second week of Easter. In the readings this week, and it's also Divine Mercy Sunday, we have a movement from fear to peace. And we have in the first reading that experience of the apostles. They all met together in the portico of Solomon, but it says none of the others dared to join the apostles, but the people esteemed them. And one of the things that happened in the early Christian community, they began to get persecuted for their belief. And one of the things that happened was that a Jewish family, if you became Christian, would publicly have a funeral for you. You were cast out of your family, cast out from the community. It was a very, very big and quite dangerous thing to follow Jesus. So we have this experience of people believing but afraid of being public. And the Easter experience we see with Peter and the apostles is this newfound boldness and joy and courage in publicly sharing about the event of Jesus' resurrection and what it means. And we see in the gospel today that beautiful scene where Jesus comes among his disciples who are afraid and they're fearful and they're behind locked doors because of fear of the Jews. They saw what happened to Jesus. They were worried about things happening to them too and their families. Jesus comes into the midst of their fear and he says, "Peace be with you." He says it twice. And in between his two sayings, he points to his hands and his side, pointing back to the event of the cross, that event of his love and forgiveness, and now his victory over that event of dying. And he invites that to bring them peace. So we're invited to actually enter into this resurrection experience. The invitation of 8 weeks of Eastertide is to sit again and again with the experience of the resurrection. It's not just information. If we think of the resurrection as just Jesus died and rose, so I too will rise again in the future, we push the resurrection into an event that is in the future for us, which means it doesn't affect us now. But that's not what Jesus is asking and inviting us to. We are called to be an Easter people sitting inside this great victory of God's love and forgiveness over sin and over death. And that joy and that message is called to actually fill and saturate our consciousness. And so we live inside Easter Sunday and we view life and live our life from Easter Sunday. And we can look back through into Good Friday from the joy and the victory of Easter Sunday. Good Friday only becomes good because of Easter Sunday. So we're invited to go on a special Easter journey. And I'd like to invite you over the next 8 weeks to have an Easter challenge. Spend time every week with the Sunday readings and let the joy of Easter and its message become a part of our consciousness and changing us. It's called to be not just informative, but performative. It causes something to happen in us. Feel invited to be part of this journey. Download Living the Word for the Easter Sunday season and reflect on some reflection questions, and all the best for your journey of Easter.